Hello and welcome. My name is Lee Berg, and today we have another MMS speaker interview video. Today we're going to be talking about 900 degrees of service manager with 3 international system center chefs. And today we have the chefs. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey Lee,
Good.
Way
How
good.
are you?
Good. We have Dieter, or DD as he likes to be known. We have Sam, and we have Steve Buchanan. Hey, if you guys could just start introducing yourselves for us, and then let's talk about your session. But first, let's tell the viewers at home who you are and what you do.
Sounds
Sure.
good.
So I will start. My name is Dieter Gasser. I'm with Alliance IT Services, which is a system center services company and software company based in Switzerland, in the Zurich area. My role at Alliance is I'm an IT consultant, and I also happen to be one of the managing partners of Alliance. My key area of focus is a service manager. Back before I was involved in the whole data center management and automation landscape, I was an application developer, and I also worked in database engineering, which is probably what explains my passion for service manager, because there's a lot you can do with authoring and customizing service manager, and also writing reports and stuff for System Center. Well, that's what I do.
So, so I'll go second. I'm Steve Buchanan. I'm a System Center MVP. I also work for Concurrency as a regional solution lead, and I'm a coworker with Lee here.
Yep.
So good to be on another video with you, Lee. I've done some authoring on a few books around data protection manager and most recently service manager in the Unleashed series. Um, let's see, my focus is on service manager, orchestrator, data protection manager, and I pretty much work across the system center stack. So looking forward to the session at MMS and the conference altogether. So.
Great.
So my name is Sam Erskine, officially Samuel Erskine. I've been in IT for about 18 years. So I was trained as a software developer and electrical engineer as well. I've worked in the systems management space for quite a long time. In particular with System Center, I started off with SMS 2003 and used to look after hierarchies of about 200,000 clients. I worked briefly in Switzerland, but I'm predominantly based in the UK. I focus purely on config manager and service manager and process automation. I'm the lead author for the service manager and orchestrator cookbooks. So that was like my little brainchild, but with a super team, hence the chefs. And I also co-authored the recently published Service Manager Unleashed book with Steve. My official job title, because I work for myself and have been since 2009, is an IT driving fella. So to summarize that, I just help people to get the best out of the technology. After that, it's all them.
Okay. Hey guys, thanks for the introduction. So 900 degrees of service manager with 3 international system center chefs. What does that mean? And this I also I think this session is going to be really cool because again, there's 3 of you here. A lot of our sessions it's either a solo session with one instructor or one presenter or a 2-person. Could you just give us the overview of what the session is, and could you tell us a little bit about how the 3 of you are going to work together on this session?
Sure, we can do that. That's a good point, actually. I mean, the session title can be a little bit confusing, but what we are going to do in this session is we take you on a journey of what you can do with Service Manager when it comes to authoring and customization. My role in the presentation, I'm going to be your deep dive instructor. So I'm really going to be talking about Visual Studio, C# code, SQL queries and stuff. And to make sure that you guys don't drown, I have Steve and Sam with me. The guys are going to be your lifeguards.
Absolutely.
So talk a little bit about what we're going to do is, we probably start with establishing a common understanding of what Service Manager is about. So talk about what Service Manager can do out of box. We will also cover the power of the CMDB that comes with Service Manager and the connectors that can help you work with the CMDB. And then we will show you some authoring techniques that you can use. So things like some more complex management pack authoring scenarios. We will walk you through some Visual Studio code with regards to writing workflows and console tasks. And we will also design forms using Visual Studio. But all that will definitely be covered in a real-world business use case scenario. So what we will cover in the demo part of the presentation is creating classes and relationships in the CMDB. We will populate the CMDB with data. Then we will create some custom forms, some more complex forms by the use of Visual Studio. We will also create console tasks that you can develop in Visual Studio. And at the end, when we wrap it up, we will write a small report. We will pull data out of the SQL database to actually summarize what we have just done in the CMDB. I think Yes, Steve, go ahead.
This is going to be a really good session because a lot of times when you put in Service Manager, it's kind of like a canvas, and there are things that organizations want to do with their Service Manager to take it to that next level, like bringing extras into that CMDB. And in this session, we will show you some of that, as well as, if you have custom forms or need to bring things into the forms that fit your organization, this is going to be a great session to come to learn those aspects. And I think Didi will do a great job really diving in very deep into those areas.
Absolutely. And, the other part that Didi alluded to is we're going to be taking a much more process business-centric role in this. There's usually a myth that I'm not a deep technical guy. It's by deliberate practice. It gives me an opportunity to share what the business comes to us when they speak about Service Manager, right? So we need to do that translation. That's why I and Steve are going to be the lifeguards, because it's always going to be a why. The what is easy. Everybody knows that. The how, you've got the gurus that do that. But ultimately, we've got to deal with the why. Without that, you've got a lot of customization, dangerous forms, but nobody knows why.
And I think that's also one of the key messages. Of course, it's cool to see what you can do with Visual Studio and coding, but my message here is don't be afraid of that, because our goal is to really show you what you can do with Service Manager, not what you necessarily need to do, but how far can you go with Service Manager? Because we've seen a lot of customers or potential customers that are interested in Service Manager, and they're like, well, I just installed Service Manager, it cannot do anything. And my message is always it's not meant to do anything, because it's a framework, just like ITSM and just like ITIL. It is designed to accommodate to your business processes, and we're going to show you how you can do that.
And we're also going to cover best practices too, right? I mean, you can start authoring and customizing Service Manager, but you can really get into some hot water if you've done some things wrong with the management packs and the way you build your customizations, and you'll run into some big problems later on if you don't do it the right way.
Absolutely. And, Lee, one of the key things that I want to share is, we've all been in organizations that Service Manager is going up against in terms of product versus product, right? Mm-hmm. Most of these tools that have been in place, they took like about 18 months to put in, right? And you had a consultant normally plugged in there. So I can install Service Manager in half a day, and Didi can make it fly in 1 week. So, this session is about that message, really. So we don't expect people to be able to do it in a week, but we know that given a bit of time, which is less than 18 months, you can get it to do the core, and then you can make it fly.
Good point.
Awesome. Well, guys, I had a couple questions that I kept wanting to ask, but then you guys kept answering them right away. So I've been pretty quiet in this video, but that's because you guys you've done such a good job of explaining the session, and I really don't have any other questions. I think it sounds like a really cool session. It sounds like it's a session for anyone who's interested in Service Manager, and you've kind of explained the things. Something that I run across is the second you say Visual Studio, people get a little scared, but you've kind of explained that, how it can show you what you can do. I think it's going to be a great session with a lot of options, and I think people who show up, they're going to learn a lot. And amazing panel here. We have our lifeguards and we have the deep dive instructor here, so I'm sure people they'll get their feet wet, but they won't drown. So
yeah. So the key message is the 900 degrees, right? We only found that there was only level 500 was the highest. And I reckon that, with the three of us, we should be able to add four more 100 levels to it. So that's where 900 came from. I don't know how we split in it because Diddy kind of takes about 600 at times.
Okay. Great. No, it sounds fantastic. Looking forward to the session at MMS. I'm sure I'll be there, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of people show up. So sounds great. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Lee.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Lee.